Hello and welcome back to the channel Shoe Fanatics. As always, it is an absolute pleasure to be hosting you here once again. Today is a special one. I have been talking about this shoe since I first saw it announced, and I knew I had to have my hands on. I got a little ahead of myself because 2020 was such a great year for pickups for me, but 2021 has been not so much. On the initial releases, I struck out on the Carmines, the Toro Bravos, the Hyper Royals, and the UNC ones. And a bunch of other stuff I went after this year in 2021. So needless to say, I was a bit concerned that I was not gonna be able to get these in hand. Thankfully, finish line for the second time, bless your boy with the reserve on not one, but two pairs of Jordan 4 UNCs. Make sure you stick around. I'm gonna give you B-roll, talk about the quality of the shoe as far as materials and craftsmanship. We're gonna try to do some lace swaps and get you some on-feet shots. So do me a favor, Shoe Fanatics, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit that like button for me one time. Right off of the bat, you're gonna notice that this is not your standard Air Jordan 4 box. Although you do have your paint splatter, typically what you have is a black box with a red Jumpman on top of it, similar to what's present on the grade school version of this shoe. You will notice, however, that we have a white box top with that Carolina blue Jumpman right there in the middle. Pop the top, here's my receipt from Finish Line. You do in fact have some matte tissue paper on the inside. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to present to you the Air Jordan 4 University Blue. You will find this shoe wrapped in a very nice university blue suede. On the midsole, you will see that black guard, as well as a cement and black splattered midsole. That cement splatter also makes its way up to the wings. You do in fact have that university blue netting, as well as university blue lace. As usual, you have a soft rubber university blue netting with university blue underneath. Famous to every Air Jordan 4, there is that reverse Air Jordan patch on the back of the tongue. You also have a university blue sock liner with, as I always say, hopefully the camera's picking this up, a black insole with a university blue Jumpman. There is also, of course, that clear air sole bubble, giving you cushion and comfort. The sole of the shoe is decked out in a herringbone traction with hints of black, white, and you guessed it, university blue. One change I would love to see happen, and hopefully maybe a customizer like Juan Wilson or JSM Customs can take this heel tab and potentially put either a Nike Air on the back or a University of North Carolina logo. What we do have instead is that gray cement splatter with the Jumpman logo on the back of it. Probably one of the best releases so far, the University Blue Jordan 4 comes to us as part of the Inspired Pack. For those of you unaware, the Inspired Pack is a line of shoes that Jordan Brand has put out that's designed to mimic some of the other high-profile releases. Case in point, the Air Jordan 5 Apple Green, which is designed to mimic the Air Jordan 5 Oregon PE. I don't have this particular pair, but the same can be said about the Air Jordan 5 Michigan. Another shoe I don't have, but the Air Jordan 3 UNC released last year is also part of the Inspired Pack. Now, typically one way to denote that this shoe is in fact a part of the Inspired Pack would be a tag that reads as such: quality products inspired by the greatest basketball player ever. Which now brings us to the elephant in the room. And there it is, one of the biggest gripes that people are having with this particular shoe, the Inspired Pack tag that is right smack dab on the top of the tongue. Now, a lot of folks have been cutting this tag off, and I have to tell you, I am very tempted to do the same. The shoe is not necessarily designed perfectly as far as my particular taste, but does a very good job of executing and mimicking the existing PE from the UNC line. Perfect example, I would love for the wings to be black instead of cement splatter. Changing those few little things is really nitpicking this shoe. The shoe is of a great quality and craftsmanship. I do not see any glue stains, any bad stitching to lead me to believe that this shoe is rushed or has bad quality otherwise. Now, if you'll notice, Jordan Brand has not been calling any of their releases after the University of North Carolina. They call it University Blue. I'm of the understanding that is because that they have license agreements that they cannot call every shoe a University of XYZ. And most likely that's because they want to reserve the name UNC for the actual player exclusives. I can tell you now, I purposely flipped out this tag and it's kind of driving me nuts. What some people have done is take an X-Acto knife and they very carefully slit right between the seams of the Flight patch and the Inspire patch. There is a lot of university blue in this shoe. So much so, I do wish Jordan Brand would have included a spare pair of laces, but I make sure to take care of that coming right up. I'm eventually going to get the cojones to cut this tag off, so make sure you stay tuned to my Instagram when I finally do it. Huge shout out to the homie Juan Wilson for sending over this great hang tag in that blue colorway. Can't wait to get this guy on. I'm going to be putting this on multiple pairs of shoes. Make sure you hit the homie up on Twitter. I'll link him down below. As I mentioned before, I also did manage to grab a grade school pair for my wife, of course. The last time you saw my wife, we were both on the channel doing the his and hers unboxing of the Air Jordan 6 hairs. Except she's like crazy pregnant now, so she won't be joining us this time around. The grade school pair is just about identical to the men's pair in every way that I can tell, with no discernible changes. Man, this tag is really bugging me. In my opinion, Jordan Brand really stepped it up with the release of the shoe. They gave us the closest approximation to a PE as I think that they have given us in a very long time. But I'm curious, do you think this particular release or something like the Apple Green or Michigan 5 is closer to the approximation of the PE? What Jordan Brand has also been doing since about 2020 is giving us the closest approximation to the OG shape of the Jordan 4 that initially launched in 1989. That's for another day. As I mentioned, I was so thankful that I was able to hit this shoe on finish line, and I also consequently picked up the grade school pair from Hivets. Fun fact, I struck out on the sneakers app. What I actually ended up having to do was use 10 entries to pick up this shoe at finish line. Totally worth it though. In my personal opinion, these shoes do run true to size. I'm a natural size 11, so I picked up a size 11. If you are so inclined, I do believe you can go down a half size. Do be aware that that heel tab can sometimes be annoying, cutting up the back of your ankle. Since the release, prices have started to come down to earth on these. As recently as 10 days ago, this shoe was up in the $600 range for release. Currently, they're hovering around $377. I'm not quite sure if that's going to go up or down. If I had to guess, it's probably going to hover there for a little bit and then go back up. Do your research. Every Jordan 4 has started to skyrocket. I'm not quite sure what's driving the increase, but take a look at the Bread 4s, take a look at the Fire Red 4s, take a look at the What the 4s. There's a lot of shoes that have started to go up in price, and I bet this being a North Carolina University blue colorway, these will be no exception. Listen, it's your money, and I can't tell you what to do with it, but if you do want these shoes, I would gather to wager either wait for a restock or now may be the time to pick them up aftermarket. In any event, I appreciate you guys so much. I'm so happy to have this pair. It's going to be a crazy May, but thankfully April's just about over with and I got my pairs that I needed. I appreciate you guys sticking in there with me. Hope you guys enjoyed the B-roll. Also, do me a favor, as I mentioned, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Now, let's go do something a lot of YouTubers don't do. Let's go put these guys on feet. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. That's dope. Oh, the original cut. There. might like it better than the 2020 version. So